Guys, I'm obviously here with a review for Midnight Special, a film. I think it's probably my favorite film of the year so far. I thought this movie was extraordinary. Jeff Nichols is on fire. He first got my attention with Take Shelter, then obviously Mud, which everybody really liked, and now he's back with Midnight Special, which is his go at a sci-fi movie. So the premise is pretty simple. It's about this father and mother and a friend of their family trying to going across, going across this southern state, trying to get this boy to a certain destination, which will allow him to return home to his own people, because he's an alien. And there are these religious cultists following them because they think that he's their messiah, and if when the rapture occurs, they'll be safe if they're with him. And then there's obviously the government who think that he's a weapon. They're after him as well. And all this, the movie kind of hits the ground running from the beginning, and you're going and you're going. And there are certain things that are left out, but there's just certain bits of dialogue that say a lot more than you think. And upon the second viewing, you'll be able to see that, because my first initial thoughts on this movie was it was fantastic. And it was kind of like Ma and Pa Kent realizing what little Clark is and what he's capable of, and how the world might react to his existence. So they want to kind of get him to a safe place so that he can return home back to Krypton safely. And that's pretty much what this movie is. But Alton, the little boy, the alien, his power is a little bit different than Superman. But the reason I bring up Superman is because he actually, in the beginning of the movie, is reading a comic book that Michael Shannon's friend, played by Joel Edgerton, gave to him, and it's a Superman comic book. And he says, "Dad, what's kryptonite?" And I thought that was very cute that was thrown in there. But what I really liked about this movie is that it has one piece of music that's kind of weaved here and there throughout the movie, and it's a very, very ominous sci-fi tone that I really enjoyed. That you'll probably, after you see this movie, you'll be humming it in your head and stuff a little bit. But for the most part, the film has no score, and I think movies, depending on what they are and what they're trying to do, movies with no score are extremely, extremely effective. The movie Blue Ruin, no score, incredible movie, incredibly effective, packs an emotional punch to the nuts. It's awesome. The original Texas Chainsaw Massacre had no score, horrified me, and it having no score made it that much better, that much more horrifying. And this film also, in a lot of scenes, doesn't have a score, so you feel that emotional impact is stronger here because of that, and I love that. And obviously the acting's awesome. You have the cast with the legendary Sam Shepard playing the evil pastor who's after Alton and all of them. You have Joel Edgerton, Michael Shannon, Kirsten Dunst, Adam Driver. So I don't want to get too much into how great the acting was, because it was great, and with a cast like that, it's expected. But I got to give props to the kid. This is the kid from St. Vincent. I haven't seen him in a movie in 2 years, and it looks like he hasn't aged a day from when I saw him in St. Vincent, so I don't know when they shot this. But he was phenomenal in it. He has this crazy scene where he's speaking all this Spanish, and he has to wear these goggles, and he still manages to emote so well with the goggles on, and even with them off, and the way he delivers his he was off charts, 10 out of 10. Great, this kid's going places. His name's Jaden. I don't even want to try with the last name. But anyway, yeah, props to the kid. And the director said, he was like, I wanted to make a movie about, that's an homage to my favorite 80s sci-fi movies. And I think he really accomplished that well. I mean, he referenced Adam Driver's character being a mix between Richard Dreyfuss's character in Jaws and another character from Close Encounters. And, then he talks about, obviously this has a very Close Encounters-y vibe to it. And it also gives me another sci-fi movie that I love, John Carpenter's Starman. And you get that vibe because it's like a road movie as well as a sci-fi film. And so the biggest problem I had with it was the ending. And like I said, upon watching it the second time, you get more out of it. And special features on here are off the charts. off the charts awesome. And a lot of people, when they watch this movie, they're confused after seeing it. They're a little confused, they're a little perplexed, and they kind of might leave them wanting more. And the special features on here are phenomenal, and they really explain a lot about the origins of these characters and stuff, and it makes the movie better. Like, I watched the special features and I watched the movie a third time, and it made it even better. So if you didn't care for it, then whatever, but if you really enjoyed it and you're gonna buy it, watch it, then watch the special features, then watch it again, and you'll love it even more. But yeah, like, the ending was a bit too much for me upon the first viewing, and it's about, there's a feature on the Blu-ray called The Unseen World, and the director said, I don't really like this, so I'm going to put it in here. The director said this about the Alton's people, the aliens. I spent a lot of time thinking about where they live, but not a lot of time thinking about what they do. Explaining the other world works against the narrative structure of the film. It allows people to activate their minds. If I define the experience for people, that's all it will be. If I let them do it for themselves, it can be anything. And that's awesome. And I'm all for ambiguity, and I'm all for, leaving it up to the audience to decide and stuff like that. I'm all for it. But the ending, there were some parts of it that I thought were a little much. However, it doesn't ruin the film for me at all. It's amazing. But they seem like some interdimensional beings of some sort. And I think of them, upon him saying this, I think of them as like the Watcher, from Marvel Comics. Someone who can oversee the entire universe all at once. And for a being with that kind of power, that can be very torturous. But for humans, that can be like getting high. Like, it could be like some sort of high. And you see that that's kind of what it is throughout the movie. So when people look into Alton's glowing eyes and they see what he can see, some describe it as indescribable, and some say that it's comforting, and some say it's just beyond, it's whatever. And there's actually a scene in the beginning where there's a guy who saw already, and that's why he's helping Michael Shannon, Joel Edgerton, and Alton hide out and stay out of the public eye, so the government doesn't catch wind where they are, or these cult people. And this man is excommunicated himself from this cult, and he's helping them. He's letting them crash at his place. In the middle of the night, or in the middle of the day, actually, they go in. Michael Shannon runs into Alton's bedroom where he's screaming, and he finds the guy looking into Alton's eyes, and Alton's screaming, and and he says, like, oh, I had to see it again. And so but that's pretty much as far as they go with that, because the movie just, from there, it just keeps going. Like I said, there's a bunch of stuff weaved throughout it that explains just enough for this movie to accomplish exactly what it wanted to accomplish, which I really, really like that. Like, this movie said a lot without hardly saying anything, and I thought that was phenomenal. And the ending is pretty great. I really enjoy it. Well, the ending after the ending, I guess, the post ending, where it shows, our four main characters other than Alton, and you see kind of where they've all ended up. And Kirsten Dunst, who plays Alton's mother, has this long ponytail throughout the entire film, and she at the end of the movie, once Alton, and spoilers, Alton goes home, once he's gone, it shows her in the mirror cutting this ponytail off. And I know for some people that was confusing, but a haircut is actually symbolic of, well, obviously you're changing your physical appearance, but it's also symbolic of an emotional change, a radical emotional change. And obviously this is her son, that's her life, and her letting him go, and then cutting her hair off, cutting her ponytail off in the mirror like that at the end, I thought was really effective. I really enjoyed it. And although this film is a sci-fi, at its core, it's a family film. It's about Michael Shannon's character and Kirsten Dunst's character and their love for this little boy, and the lengths that they'll go, what they'll do for him. They're willing to let him go, and the lengths that they'll go to get him to where he needs to be. And off the charts, extraordinary. Probably my favorite movie of the year so far. Highly recommend it. Buy the Blu-ray. The features rule. Thanks for watching.